Good morning, Tracy and Shamim. I'm coming to you live from the Ministry of Works and Transport here in Kampala. And like you mentioned, we are talking the express penalty system that is being automated. Now, this system is under a bigger project by the government that is meant to ensure that systems are automated to ensure that there is more security on the roads, and penalty systems and penalties in general by drivers are really automated, and it's not just a traffic officer coming to you and telling you that maybe you've committed a crime and you start fighting with them and pulling ropes here and there. But I'm joined by the head of communications, the Ministry of Water and Transport, Madam Susan Kataike, to tell us more about how far they have gone with the EPS system, which is the express penalty system, and how soon the first fine will be issued out, and how they're working on the rollout in general. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on the Morning Breeze, Madam Susan Kataike.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about the rollout. But before that, anyway, I beg your pardon. Before that, let's talk about the EPS in general. How is it going to work? And what is it for any viewer who is seeing us right now?
Of course, the EPS stands for the Express Penalty System. This is not something that is new. It's something that we've been doing all along as Ugandans. As government, we've been paying penalties through the Express Penalty System. It's just that this is an upgrade. We are upgrading to an automated system for some of the fines. So we are going to have a concurrent system where you have the penalties that are issued by the officers, and then these are manually issued by the officers like we normally do, but then we shall have those that are automated using the cameras.
Yeah, you talk about the automation and the cameras, and there are concerns about cameras already. The other day I was speaking to a gentleman, a border rider, and he was telling me how he's had issues going to the people who man the cameras when his border was stolen, and they couldn't actually trace it. So now if it is going to work with the system, in tandem with the system, how can we trust this?
What we know is that these cameras, specifically for the fines, are different from the normal cameras. These have better features than the ones that are currently around. And as you know, police has different phases of installing cameras. I think they're supposed to be procuring new cameras for the road network throughout the country. So I believe these systems keep on changing, cameras keep on improving. So this is technology. Technology keeps on changing and improving. So these new cameras are supposed to augment the performance of the old cameras. So I believe that the system can be trusted. So people will not really get a lot of challenges with the new system.
Yeah, the other day, over the last few weeks, you've been rolling out this system and engaging different stakeholders, especially the road users like the border riders and truck drivers. How is the reception so far?
Of course, there is a lot of misconception. We need to do a lot of engagements and clarify so many issues, because people don't understand the different components of the EPS. However, as I've said, we have already been paying fines. This is not something new. It's just that we now have an automated system, and this is just for the start. It's for speeding, overspeeding, and running the red lights. However, for the others, if you're a border, you don't have your helmet. If you're a driver in your car, you don't have your seat belt. The police will continue issuing the other manual receipts. Yes.
Okay. Also, we've seen incidents in the past where there's a lot of traffic, and then it's a police manning the traffic, and there are red lights, and I'm allowed to pass by the police. It's illegal at that time, and the camera in that incident is actually seeing me. Has recorded that I've passed while there's a red light. How will you handle that, since at that moment I've been allowed by a police officer?
Well, as we do the sensitization, there's also training that is going on for the police officers who are going to be doing this job. And of course, the police officer has a right to say okay, now the people coming from this side, you can go. However, there will be a coordination with the camera control center. So the time this is happening, of course, the control center will be aware. And that's why under this activity, there is a point where somebody can go, and if you feel the violation was not issued in a right manner, it's wrong, then you can appeal. So where you feel exactly, especially in that very example, if you know that the police officer is the one who told you to pass, then it means that you have the right to appeal.
And also there are other concerns about, for example, internet connection and phone penetration, since I understand that these penalties will be sent by email and SMS. Isn't there a concern that it won't be as smooth as it's expected to be?
Of course, we shall keep on improving as we move on. One, as you know, we are registering more or less all vehicles in the country. That is why we have the MVR, the Motor Vehicle Registration System. And the MVR, the Motor Vehicle Registration System, is linked to the EPS. So it's a system that is linked, and when you register, remember when you're going to register your vehicle, you leave your email address, you leave your phone number, so you will be able to get either an email, you'll be able to get a notification in form of an SMS on your phone.
Madam Kataike, let's talk about the borders. We know all the issues that surround the border industry in Uganda. People have borders that are from their bosses. I mean, I'm just a rider. And basically, there's no way you can maybe reach to the owner of the border. And also the other issues concerned with the whole border industry. Isn't there concerns about especially finding borders and controlling the whole border ecosystem?
Of course, the penalties are in there are two ways. With the speeding and running the red light, of course, this ticket goes directly to the vehicle owner. However, within the law, the owner, if I receive a ticket, I have a border, I have a taxi, I have a bus. When I receive this ticket, I have the responsibility to present the driver such that the driver is the one to pay this penalty. So this means that at the end of the day, the owners of these vehicles, of these borders, also have to talk to their drivers, their riders. You see, at the end of the day, we can actually avoid paying these penalties. This is about discipline. We all need to get in order. Let's be more disciplined. I can avoid paying penalties. Actually, from the day we started this sensitization, I've become more cautious as somebody who already knows what is coming. I've become more cautious on the road. So I believe the more we sensitize people, people will become more cautious because nobody wants to pay these fines. There's a lot of laxity. So we as Ugandans, as road users, need to improve on our discipline when we are on the road, because this is about overspeeding, this is about running the red light. Because I'll give an example. If you're coming from Bweyogerere, if you run the red light at Nakawa, at Spear, you run the red light at Nakawa, at the market, you come and run the red light at Lugogo, you come and run the red light here. Those are all different offenses, and you're committing all those in one day. So you're going to find that you have run 4 red lights. If you run 4 red lights, that is 600 per red. How much money is that in a day? So that calls for discipline. We need to discipline ourselves as drivers. So whatever we've been doing and doing it wrongly, now the law is going to catch us. And this, at the end of the day, is about organizing transport. It's about safety. So this is, we need, as road users, we need really to improve. We can avoid, you see, I always tell people that we can avoid these penalties. It's about what you and I can do. I can choose not to run the red light. I can choose to stay in my lane. I can choose to drive at the prescribed speeds. That's what it's all about.
You said it starts on 15th.
We intend to start on 15th. On 15th May. That is when we expect the first ticket to be issued.
Thank you very much, Madam Kataike, for agreeing to speak to us on the Morning Breeze. Shamim and Tracy, you heard it right. On 15th May, the first ticket will be issued out. And this time round, there is no pulling ropes with the traffic officer, but the system will capture you and will automatically send you an SMS or an email and of course, the detail of how much money you will need to pay. I'll come back to you at the Political Command Center. For now, have yourselves a better and a great morning.
Well, thank you so much.